Ibele is a rich woman, and she lived in a big house and had many beautiful things. But Ibele is sad. She had met with 3 men that she loved with all her heart. The men pretended to love her, but never knew they only wanted her money. After Jide, the 3rd man, left her, she was very sad, lonely, and never wanted to be with man again. 2 months later, she had an idea. I will pretend to be a crippled woman, she thought. If a man loves me when I am crippled, it means he will love me from his heart, not for my money. So, Ibele dressed like a crippled woman. She made her legs look like they couldn't walk. She went to the market and the park where people walked around. Many people ignored her. Some laughed at her, but she stayed quiet. This she did for weeks, waiting for someone kind. One day, a man named David came to the park. David is very rich, but he didn't show it. He had a kind heart. When he saw Ibele sitting alone, he walked up to her. Are you okay? David asked. Ibele smiled a little. Yes, but I cannot walk, she said. David sat next to her and talked to her. He didn't care about her legs and challenges. He liked her smile and her gentle voice. Some days David comes back to see her. They talked and laughed together. One day, David brought Ibele a small gift. It was a little flower. This is for you, David said. You are kind and smart. I like spending time with you and don't just know why. Ibele smiled and thanked him. Most people always laugh at me here, but you are different. Her heart was happy. She knew David didn't care about her money or her legs. He liked her for who she was. As days passed, David asked, would you like to come to my house for dinner? Ibele said yes. She wanted to tell David the truth about her legs, but she was also afraid. True love comes from the heart, not from money or looks. Ibele's legs, they show that sometimes we need to hide what we have to find who loves us truly. The flower shows that simple, kind actions are more important than big gifts. Ibele went to David's house for dinner. His home was simple but warm, and she liked it very much. David cooked food for her, and they sat together at the table. They talked and laughed, just like in the park. As the evening went on, she felt she had to tell him the truth. She looked at David and said, there is something I must tell you. David looked at her with kind eyes. What is it? She took a deep breath. I can walk. I am not really crippled. She slowly stood up and took a step. David was surprised, but he didn't say anything. Ibele told him everything. I am a rich woman, but many men have lied to me. You know what I mean? She said. They only wanted my money. So I pretended to be crippled to see if someone could love me for who I am, not for what I have. David was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. I understand why you did that. And I am not angry, so let your heart not be troubled. He took her hand. I liked you before I knew about your legs, but you went too far, he said. I don't care about your money. Ibele was so happy. Her heart felt light. She had finally found someone who loved her for her true self. She thought that maybe David could be the one she had been looking for all this time. A few weeks later, David asked her a question. Ibele, would you like to be my wife? Ibele smiled brightly. Yes, David, I would love to marry you. But what Ibeli didn't know was that David had a secret too. He wasn't just a kind man with a simple house. David was also very rich. He owned many businesses, but he lived a quiet life because he wanted people to like him for who he was, not for his money. When she found out, she laughed. We were both pretending to be something we're not. David laughed too. Yes, but now we know the truth. And I love you for who you are. True love sees beyond what we pretend to be and accepts who we really are. Ibeli's truth, it shows that being honest leads to real happiness. David's simple life, it teaches that love is not about showing off but about kindness and understanding.